Hey guys, welcome back to the new video on matrix multiplication. In the last video, on the last session, as a quick recap, we spoke about matrix addition and subtraction and how to think about matrix intuitively to understand that better. And like I said, the beauty of matrix comes in when we talk about multiplication in general. Addition and subtraction are important, but it's like pretty straightforward. You don't really get to see the magic that matrix or matrices do like they do in multiplication. So today we'll start on multiplication. This video will be pretty simple and short, and the actual magic we'll talk about in the next video when we talk about multiplying two matrices. But I promise you that you'll have fun in both the videos. So stay tuned and let's jump into this right away. All right. So any everything in matrix, right? Whatever you do, whatever operation you do, matrix in general. Whenever you think about, by this time you'll be thinking matrices or matrix. Whenever I say matrix, you'll be imagining in your head two square braces or two square brackets or parentheses, and then some numbers in between them, arranged in a certain way, or array of numbers, right? That's what you kind of think of matrix by now. Okay, that's what it is, right? And which is okay. But behind the scenes, whenever you talk about matrix or any matrix operation, what you need to understand is anything and everything about matrix has kind of three ways to look at that, to understand really what it is doing, right? One way of looking at that is just drawing a parallel to what happens to the mathematical operation on a matrix. For example, if you're doing addition or subtraction or multiplication, like I explained in the last video, even if you do not do it without the matrix notation, assume that you remove the, for example, instead of having the brackets, as soon as I put anything in the brackets, right, a b c d, you can understand it's matrix. Okay, or let's say if I just say number 4, this is like a number within a matrix, right? Or but if I just write the number without the matrix, it's just a number, right? So first and foremost is always get into the habit of, when you understand matrix, just trying to pause for a minute and think in your head, what does it do? What does this notation actually do to this number? Because the number is a number. What difference it makes when we put this braces and make it a matrix? This is the matrix, right? And what difference it makes to the basic operation when we do something. For example, if we add or multiply, if we add or multiply 4 by any number, just as a number system, what happens, versus if we add or multiply a matrix by another number or another matrix, what happens, what does it do? That's one way of looking at that. That's the first part, right? The second part is purely understanding or applying the concept of algebra, like adding two matrices or adding something to a matrix or subtracting or multiplying. What is the algebraic way of doing that, and how does it really, in theory or in even visualization, different from the operations on the number system? Because in the addition and subtraction we could not really get what is a big deal about that, but in multiplication you will see the difference. So understanding the operational nuances of using a matrix algebra, that's the second part. And the third part is where the magic or the beauty happens, is when you apply all these mathematical operations and you move away from the algebraic concept towards the geometric part, which kind of I introduce you in the addition and subtraction to think about a mathematical operation from an algebraic standpoint versus what happens when you do it from the geometric standpoint. Kind of what happens where we talked about, you can talk about a vector in general, or a coordinate system, x and y axis, or just some point in space, right? It could be this, it could be this, or it could be just in space, like a three-dimensional xyz plane, right? So as long as you mentally switch back and forth what it happens, it's very easy to understand what's happening, and you really get the taste of what's going on with this matrix. What's the big deal about this matrix, especially the last part where you think it through a geometric lens. Okay, so that's kind of the, I just want that these three things to kick in whenever we do the next sessions of what it means. We'll be going back and forth explaining the same thing through each of these lenses so that you understand that better. Okay, so let's get going. So in this video I'll be just trying to take a small example and help you understand, apply these lenses on each of them, just to warm you up for something that is going to be really magical in the next video. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, let's take the first tool about number system, right? So whenever let's understand what does that multiplication mean in a simple number system. When we multiply two numbers, what it means in kind of a intuitive way, right? For example, let's take a basic elementary school mathematics, right? Let's say you're going to multiply 3 into 5, right? What does it mean? Like if you see this figure here, right? So I just borrowed this from the Google, right? What it primarily says is you can think about this as 3 hops of 5, right? So basically if you start from here, you hop to the first 5, which is the number 5, then again count. So this is your first hop. Again from 5 to 10 you count 5 units, this is your second hop, and again from 10 to 15 you count 5 units, is your third hop, right? So that's one way of looking at that. So you hop 3 times, but each hop you jump 5 units, okay? And if I flip this into 5 into 3, it would not change anything in the answer. In this case, what you mean is you can think about, okay, I'm just going to now I'm going to hop 5 times, but each time I'm going to just jump 3 units, okay? So if I start from 0, my first hop will be 3, okay? And then my second hop will be 6. Like that, I'm going to jump 5 hops. There's a first hop, there's a second hop, and the fifth hop I'll be landing at 15. So the answer is the same, but it gives a sense of thing that how do you think about when two numbers are multiplied, what does it mean? Similarly over here, right, I'm saying 4 by 2, okay, or 4 into 2. What does it mean? Let's say I'm putting some burgers on this plate. There are 2 plates and there are 4 burgers each. So I can either count this 1, 2, 3, 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's one way of doing that. Or I can just say, okay, this is 4. Each plate has 4. Why don't I multiply that? That's how you kind of think about numbers in general when you multiply. So basically what you're trying to do is, it's nothing but you are doing a repetitive addition, right? For example, over here you're hopping kind of 3 times, right? So basically I'm adding 5 3 times. Instead of 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15, right? I'm adding it 3 times. In this case, if I want to add, I'm adding 3 5 times, right? Like this, okay? 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, again it's 15, right? So basically what multiplication is in essence is nothing but repetitive addition, right? So instead of making it bigger, multiplication gives us a condensed way of knowing it, and if you kind of memorize the basic tables of multiplication, we can get the answer quickly. That's what multiplication does, right? So basically when you repetitively add, based on what is the multiplier, the numbers get scaled, right? Because it becomes bigger, right? It could be scaled up if the number is positive, or it could be scaled down if the number is negative, right? Basically if I say 3 into 5, I'm going to scale up, it's 15, but if I say 3 into negative 5, it could be minus 15. So one of these numbers, based on how you see, it's scaling up the other number. That's what in a simple numeric system, when we say without using the matrix notation, what does multiplication mean, right? That's what it is, right? So now let's apply the same concept to see what happens when we bring in the matrix notation and we try to use the algebra, the second part of that, right? What happens when we try to multiply a number by a matrix? In this video, we're not going to talk about when two matrices are multiplied. We're just going to talk about multiplying a number on a matrix, what happens with that. In the next video, we talk about when we multiply two matrices, what it means, right? So if you just extend that concept and keep it very linearly, we'll talk about what are the differences and what are the nuances in the next video. But for that, if you just extend this thought process over here, if you're just applying if you're going to multiply a matrix by a number, right, like a constant k over here, right? Over here, this is a matrix, I'm multiplied by 2. So basically, it's just scaling up each number by this factor, right? 2 into 4 is 8, 2 into 0 is 0, 2 into 1 is 2, and 2 into negative 9 is negative 18. It kind of scales down here. So it's basically just applying the simple rules of mathematics as if you're multiplying two numbers. Doesn't matter whether it's in the matrix or not. So far so good. It doesn't really mean what is so special about the matrix. Like I said, just hold on till the next video when we change this number to a matrix itself. Then we are multiplying two matrices. Then we'll see what happens. Okay, in this case again, let's say A is a matrix. Like normally we will not write a big matrix, we'll just call this as A. So when you say 3A, basically you are scaling up the matrix A by 3 times pretty much, right? So if you see here 3 into this, each number is multiplied by 3 and we get this kind of a resultant matrix, right? So far the multiplication of a matrix by a number this number is called a scalar, or scaled up or scaled down, is pretty simple. There's no differences. And like I said, just wait until the next video where we talk about the beauty of the scalar multiplication when we think about matrices being a transformation, especially when we multiply two matrices as opposed to one number versus, like for example, this is a matrix 1, this is matrix 2. This is where the beauty comes, right? As opposed to having one matrix and multiplying it by just one number. So in this case, like you see here, one is a matrix and one is just a number. So this is just for understanding, but this is where the whole beauty of transformation and something that will blow your mind comes into play in the next video. Okay, all right, now let's take the third option of imagining the same thing. We applied the number system, the same rule I was talking about, right? Over here, the three lenses. We saw this multiplication using the simple lens of pure play numbers. We saw this using a number on a matrix using the matrix algebra, the second lens, and the third and the most important lens, which we will kind of tease here and then go into the next video with details, is kind of applying the same concept, but instead of thinking as an algebra, we think about this as a geometry, right? And in geometry, like I said, you can take a vector, which is nothing but an arrow with some coordinates, or you can take a plane, or you can just have a point in the space. But in this case, let's assume that we're taking a vector, and we'll talk about this too in the next video. Over here, if you see, let's say there is a vector A, right? Like just a vector A. So when I say I want to multiply or scale up this vector by 3 times, it is as good as repetitive addition. I'm just placing that vector 3 times, one behind each other in this format. And or I can just have an alternative notation where instead of seeing it as 3 vectors, I just draw one big vector which is 3 times bigger than this one, which is a 3a. That's one way of looking at that. And over here, this kind of a cyclic kind of picture where here we're talking about just one vector as if we just have one matrix. But let's say, what if we had 2 matrices which are like 2 vectors, right? Over here, if you see v and u, let's say this is v and this is u, what happens, right? Which we will talk in the next video. But assume that if there are 2 vectors, how do you kind of imagine in your head from a geometric lens, what does the addition and multiplication do? Addition we did see in the last video, but we will see the net effect of addition and multiplication here, kind of a teaser, and we'll discuss more later. But if you see, there are 2 vectors here, v and u, which is blue and red, and let's follow this path for now. So when we talk about scalar multiplication, basically scalar is nothing but a number, right? And we multiply each of this vector by the number. In this case, the scalar is 3, right? So in this case, the scalar is a, and it could be any number, right? So when we scale this system of vectors, these 2 vectors, by a number a, what it basically means is you're going to repetitively add that each of the vector a times. We don't know what is a, so we are just going to increase that and say this is av. A into v is av. Likewise, this is au. Okay, now we have got 2 vectors which are scaled up, right? Because we multiplied them, right? With positive numbers. But over here, if you follow this direction in the south, where we're not scaling, but we're just doing simple vector addition, like we're just adding 2 matrices, for example. So basically, like I told in the last video, we have the red and the blue, and if we add that, the way the vectors are added, which is a whole new topic, but it's very simple, right? If you have these 2 vectors, you place the beginning point of one vector at the end point of the other. You can take any vector, right? Basically, the dot of one vector will come on the arrow of the other vector. That's what this is doing. See, this one vector, the dot of the second vector is coming on the arrow of the first. Similarly, if you take a v vector here, the dot of the u, the starting point of u, is coming here, kind of thing. You can draw anyhow. And we just talk about the net displacement of where you reach, like we discussed in the previous video. Like if I'm taking this direction, I'm going in this direction, and then I'm going here, and this is where I stop. So what is my net displacement from my original point? And if I draw a straight line, what happens? So that means the same thing. It's the same effect of adding these 2 vectors, right? So whether I go this way and this way, or I go this way and this way, I still reach at the point, which is same as I start from here and straight away follow the green line, right? So let's say I add the vectors first, u and v, and then I'm going to multiply, and then I'm going to scale. In this case, I was scaling those vectors individually. In this case, I'm going to scale these vectors as a whole, right? What happens with the same number a? So what happens is, now you have this original number, so I'm going to scale by a, and let's assume that a is equal to 2. I'm going to scale this by twice. So the whole picture kind of multiplies by twice. Let's say if I'm going to just talk about the green one, the net displacement here. So this net displacement is scaled by A. I've added it 2 times, assuming that it's like A. It could be 3, it could be 3 times, right? That's one way of looking at that. Similarly, if I come from here, like just like I multiply the vectors individually and then I'm trying to add, then basically the same concepts apply here, but in this case, before the multiplication, the vector is already, before the addition, the vector is already scaled, right? So we will take the bigger ones, bigger arrows, and then scale, which will be still the same effect. So this kind of in effect gives you, whether you multiply first and then add, or you add first and then multiply, the result is kind of the same, and it kind of gives this good sense of where we are going when we introduce mathematical operations of multiplication and addition, what it means. So the geometric lens of what it means, this gives kind of a good example of what it means, right? And from next video onwards, whenever we do that, right, like here I've just put, we'll start getting used to the habit of mentally switching the topics in matrices or multiplication in specific between what it would have meant in the context of vectors, which I've explained, what it would mean in the context of matrices, and what it would mean in the context of transformation. So we'll keep going back into these 3 topics, right, from here to here and then here to here, and that will kind of help you understand the magic. Oh, this is what I mean when I say matrix multiplication. If I need to imagine or understand it better from a vector standpoint, this is how I would have mean. Regardless of how you solve the problems, most of the problems from an exam standpoint of view will be still pure play algebra, like what we discussed here, right? This will be the concept. But if you understand this, mentally it gives you a kind of an intuition how to think about matrices in general, okay? So in closing of this video, before we jump into the next video, what do we learn here? What did we learn so far? So you should just think about scalar, because this was a scalar multiplication. Scalar is nothing but just a number, right? You should just think about scalar as a number which kind of scales the number up or down based on if the scalar is positive or it's negative or it's fraction. It depends on that, at how it scales. And in the context of vector, if I'm going to scale up positively, it might go in this direction. If I scale negatively, let's say multiplied by minus a, it will go in the opposite direction. So in case of vector, the direction flips. But other than that, in case of pure play algebra, the number becomes smaller or bigger based on its scaled up or scaled down. But still, the fact remains that scalar multiplication is nothing but multiplying a matrix by a number and scale it up, okay? So that's the whole concept of this video, and we'll jump into the next video where we talk about multiplication of 2 matrices and what it means, and there'll be much fun there. All right, more on the next video, guys. See you there.